Hi there, Plush here. Happy Pride Month! Last year, I made a video named On the Topic of the Asexuality Spectrum. This was a video where I talked about my personal thoughts and feelings when it came to how people used and sometimes misused the asexuality spectrum. This video is somewhat of a follow-up to that video and my 2-year-old Pride Month Let's Be Honest video. I'm going to be going over a lot of the same stuff here as both of those videos, so watching those ones for additional context or anything like that is optional. I will say though, the A-Spectrum video is an unscripted, rambly, ranty video, so I feel like I may have been a little more inflammatory towards the general community as a whole than I should have been. Allow me to rectify that in this video a bit. So, for a start, let's set up like basic groundwork of what I'm going to be talking about, and also just kind of about myself when it comes to this topic, or I guess the topic of Pride Month as a whole. As mentioned in both of the prior videos, I am asexual. I do not have any sexual interest, I do not have any sexual desire. Sex is not something I want, need, or strive for. I don't get the feeling of horniness at all. In fact, I'm not sure if I even understand the feeling entirely, because it's something that I just don't feel. I'm mainly making this clarification to explain a layer of frustration of mine that will circle back to the ACE spectrum talk. But for now, let's just stick to what I am specifically. I am ACE. I also mentioned in at least the Pride Month video, I don't remember if I mentioned it in the Ace Spec video, that I was unsure of what I was romantically, and even though I did explain that a bit in the videos, I feel like I need to clarify that a little bit more. I do also kind of have updates with that. It's not that I have a specific romantic attraction for me yet, but rather I was still not entirely clear on what I meant when I said I was questioning it. I actually received a comment on my asexuality spectrum video, which gave a lot more information about some sexual and romantic labels that I didn't even know existed at the time. Personal thank you to Snowy Breeze 9529 for this comment. I did look into some of the romantic and sexual labels that they actually listed in that comment, and while I don't personally align myself with them, I'm still glad that the person decided to actually comment and engage with the video and inform me about things that I didn't even know. It's actually kind of wild that in that Ace Spectrum video, I complained about there not being a clear way to distinguish between someone who's asexual and someone but not sexual pulsed versus someone who is asexual and sexual pulsed. And they actually pointed out that there actually is a label. It's just one that people don't seem to really use or even know exists, known as apothosexual. They also pointed out a few other micro labels that are hard to find, just kind of as examples, with another one being Venus Platonic. Venus Platonic is so unknown that I only found the definition on like 2 sites, and for one of those being on a site called aromanticism.org. Venus Platonic describes a person who does not want romance or a romantic relationship, but considers strong platonic love and relationships very important, including exclusive ones like QPRs. Queer platonic relationships is what that means. Also describes a person who experiences some sort of tertiary attraction. Again, I don't personally feel this aligns with me, but I do like knowing about these, what I'll just refer to as micro labels. They help with understanding what I am and what I am not, and it gives a more defined word to help define other people's if they want to. My inability to understand the line between romantic and platonic does not mean I have no clue why I could be romantically or platonically. I say that I don't know what I am romantically, Not because I have no understanding of it, but rather I feel I am somewhere in a weird range. Basically, the range of what I could be is between being asexual, demi-romantic, pan-platonic, ace, demi-romantic, demi-platonic, or ace, aromantic, demi-platonic. It's somewhere in between those levels, and I just don't have a good distinction of where exactly. On to the next part though. Somehow, and I don't know how this happened, I somehow have not yet talked about my own gender identity in a video. This is something that I've brought up to friends, and I probably have mentioned in a live stream. I'm sure that it's kind of obvious that I'm not entirely cis, given the fact that I say that I am a toy completely unironically. To be more clear though, I fall under the trans and non-binary umbrellas, with my identity being one that I don't have a specific label picked out, but I can describe it specifically as being gender fluid, switching between agender and female, which for me is also influenceable by outside factors such as what clothing I'm wearing, the comfort level I am with the people I'm with, and the situation that I'm in. With gender fluid obviously just meaning that the person's gender identity can fluctuate, and agender meaning either no gender or lack of gender. I don't think I need to define what a female is. To put it simply though, I don't align with my birth sex of male. It is now August 9th of 2025. I am more than a month late on this video, and somehow the original audio and video that I had put into this part in July got missing and corrupted, so I'm having to re-record this. This video has been a bit harder to make than it should have been, and it's not even because of the topic. So, the original interjection and what I'm putting in now is just me basically mentioning that there are labels there that could define what I am that I just don't tend to use, even though they can very much apply. One of the examples being demigirl. Demigirl is a gender that is sort of a one where you switch between being female and being non-binary, which could fit me, but I feel like it focuses more on the girl side than the non-binary side, the agender side, and that's why I kind of align more with. Likewise, there are also smaller, lesser-known genders and micro-labels for things such as plush gender, toy gender, stuff like that, which I don't tend to use because of the fact that they tend to explain it themselves more as being, they explain themselves more as being the feelings of toys or the enjoyment of toys rather than the actual identifying as being a toy. That's all that this interjection was. I can't believe that I've lost the footage. I tend to be a bit more cagey about this when I am with people that are IRL or family or stuff like that. Most of my family is completely unaware of this. In fact, only a handful of people in my family even know that I'm not straight entirely. And I tend to not be super upfront about my desire to transition from male to female in most places. Even on the internet, I'm a bit more hesitant to say something about it. A part of this stems from the fact that I have not started transition in any way yet. I am in no position financially or socially to do so, to the point where I don't even have any vocal training yet. My personal pronouns, if you're wondering, are it/they/she, but I don't exactly blame people who use he, him when they're referring to me, because I do still sound and look male, and I don't tend to share those pronouns out unless someone asks for them. So, it's an easy mistake to make, and it's something that I would not hold someone against if they just didn't know. Also, as a side note, I am still in shock after finding out that is considered a neopronoun or a xenopronoun. It's something that I learned a few years back, and to this day, my brain does not fully register that. With all that out of the way, and with some of the issues brought up there to be packed away for another time, maybe I'll deal with it, like, personally, or maybe in a video, who knows. Back to the topic that I feel like I might get flamed for, the asexuality spectrum. We're going to ignore my mouth not moving. Resnight is just messing with me. So originally I had a whole section here that was just dedicated towards talking about the asexuality spectrum itself and a bit of conversation around it. Mainly, I had a few complaints about how people tended to claim to be ace when they mean that they are on the asexuality spectrum. And essentially, just my entire complaint was that people were conflating both the spectrum and sexuality. My original recording even compared it to where I would say that the use of the ace spectrum is similar to if we took the word queer and how it's used and just used the gay spectrum instead. And to a degree, I do still believe that the ace spectrum or the ace identity needs to have a name change. One of the two. Them having the same one is only muddying the water on what asexuality is. The sexuality, that is. Another big thing that I originally also had was that I basically tried to wrap up the video by explaining that I think people need to be less afraid of branching out, exploring themselves, and using the lesser known micro labels in order to actually explain who they are rather than defaulting to the broadest of terms. The main reason I'm recording this section, even though I should have done this months ago at this point, we are in October, god dang it, why can't I be faster at this, is that I failed to consider the reasons why people don't do that. Think of this as sort of a pivot from the video focus on being angry at people for using the asexuality spectrum as the only label they use. Going to focus a bit more on the personally frustrating stuff about why that happens that kind of just can't be left unaddressed. See, as a little bit of recap, I don't even remember if I recorded any of this at any point. When I was still in my early adult years, I avoided a lot of the LGBT community. The main reason at the time pretty much can be boiled down to the fact that the community in that era, so 2016, 2017, was one that was extremely unkind and hypocritical. They were extremely fair-weathered on their support for trans people, bi people, and all of that. And a lot of my defensiveness when it comes to asexuality, the sexuality, comes from the fact that many of my early years of adulthood proved to me that if I was not vocal about who I was, no one would be vocal about that stuff for me. You may have people who are vocal about being gay or being straight or all of that stuff, but asexuality was a weird niche where you really didn't hear anything about it. I felt unheard and ignored by a good chunk of the community, even back then and even to a point now, especially from a community that is supposed to be one of the most accepting for who I am, which also is why I tend to be more cagey about explaining my identity just beyond saying that I'm a plushie. Because, well, why would you when you're going to get attacked for who you are? The main reason I'm bringing this up here is because the wider LGBT community is kind of blind to this issue at times. It's something that most people who are sort of newer or younger in the community thought we had already moved past in the early 2010s, when that very much is not the case. I've been thankful enough to have met people online who are accepting of me, and I've had almost felt like this issue is passed for me as well. But you can find plenty of examples of bi erasure and ace denial, and even like transphobia, even in this year alone, within the community. It's led me into thinking that people who don't look into themselves like I have are simply ignorant. I don't think that now. I think the people I was trying to actively shame, kind of, in that original draft, are too scared to express their true selves. Think about it. The wider LGBT community already struggles with transphobia, biphobia, and acephobia. A lot of people already use umbrella terms for themselves simply because finding a community for anyone with those lesser announced labels is basically impossible. With that lined up, why would you ever come out as something more specific? We need to do better as a community, full stop. To those of you who look down at micro-labels, reconsider now. Someone identifying as a gender-ambiguous, demi-pan, romantic, polysexual, bug-type Pokemon is not the one ruining gay rights and making those who are homophobes become homophobes. Likewise, if you're someone with a micro-label, I encourage you to express it loudly. It can be scary and feel lonely, but if you don't express who you are, how are those who are like you ever find you? A community doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes from like-minded individuals finding each other and connecting. And if you don't express yourself out loud, then who will? That is all that I wrote on the minor scripted part of this, so I'm going to try to just wrap this up at this point. Main thing, we need the community to do better. We need people who are in the ACE umbrella to actively think about their sexuality beyond just the umbrella terms. We need people who are not ACE to not only be accepting of ACE people, but also accepting of these smaller labels. And we need everyone to just be better about their terminology in this stuff, and to actually think about what they're saying and doing. We need to have less fear of micro labels. We need to have more acceptance of just the smaller people. If I keep going, I am going to ramble since I no longer have script. So I'm just going to end the entire video here, not just this interjection. Thank you for watching this long, and if I may, be kind.